Welcome everyone, thank you for joining us today. I have Phoebe here for this interview. Ready? So first question is, out of the planets in our solar system, where do you think life could exist and why?
Well, they recently just found what they think could be water on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that water's pretty important for life. Like, you need it. It's not like molten and like too hot for life. It's like Venus, like that would be crazy.
Right.
So I think Mars would probably be our best.
Now, question number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe there are other Earth-like planets that contain complex organisms like us
100%.
in interstellar space?
100%.
100%.
Because, okay, so we were made in like the Big Bang, and we ended up on Earth. But like, we had to come from somewhere, so I think we came from the Big Bang. If we came from the Big Bang, wouldn't other life have had to come from the Big Bang? So wouldn't that mean that somewhere out there, because the universe is like, I know it's like continuously expanding, so somewhere out on like the infinite universe, there must be some other life there that came from the Big Bang too. Like, it doesn't make sense that we were the only like tiny little planet in the infinite universe that got tiny little spores of life on it.
Answer. Question 3. What are the requirements for life? List what you think are the most important factors for life.
Well, you need some way of getting nutrition, whether that be photosynthesis, like a little baby plant, whether that be like carbon dioxide, like algae, or whether that be food, like us humans.
Mm-hmm.
So you need nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we need water, like everything in our kind of life needs water.
Mm-hmm.
But who am I to say that all life needs water? Like, aliens could survive with something else, you know? Like, we don't know. But yeah. Oh, and we also need like, yes, we need like air.
Under what environmental conditions can life exist?
I think any, because we are adapting to our environment. So life existed on this planet when it was still like a swirling ball of like, still kind of forming, like algae was there like creating like an oxygen there, and then it changed to suit its environment. So I think that as long as we have that like initial organism, we can just adapt to our environment.
Gotcha. Question 5. If aliens were to exist, what do you think they would look like? Us? Or simpler, more complex organisms?
Okay, so I don't think it'd be like simpler or more complex. I think they would just be like, it'd probably be like the same amount of complexity. I just think that they would be different because they have developed in a different,
They would look different?
they would look differently because they've developed in a different like atmosphere, different gravity, different, environmental factors, different environmental factors. We adapt to our environment, so I don't think they would look like us.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. Again, part 2. I have Kyle.
I think it's possible for life to exist, but not with the current atmospheric conditions on them.
Oh, okay. Question 2. Interstellar space.
100%, I definitely think so.
100%, everyone.
There's a couple different reasons why, but I think if we were possible, then something like this is also possible.
Okay. Question 3. What are the requirements for life? List the most important factors.
So I think water
Okay.
is necessary. Obviously, breathable air, like a certain amount of oxygen, nitrogen, or whatever. A food source. As long as there's breathable air and food or energy source. pretty much any array of temperatures could exist, because I know there's organisms on Earth that can withstand like extreme cold and extreme hot, and like some can even live without oxygen for like 20 plus years.
Last question.
I think they could necessarily look like us, but I don't think that they would, just because I think their evolution process would probably be a bit different than ours. So like their path to intelligent life would probably be much different, just based on their environmental conditions.
Okay, so the consensus for question 1, everyone seemed to generally say Mars. We did have, and for Mars, the only evidence we have right now are the microfossils. There's also evidence of water in the past, but the bacteria does not have an internal structure as the bacteria on Earth does. Other points that were not mentioned for other celestial bodies are that of Titan, Enceladus, and Europa. Titan may have a possibility of life due to the fact that it is the only other body in the solar system that contains liquid lakes with hydrocarbons. And Europa and Enceladus both have thin ice crusts with bodies of water underneath. And there's also the possibility of hydrothermal vents that are at the bottom of these oceans, and that could also drive life. So for question 2, the question was, do you believe there are other Earth-like planets that contain complex organisms like ourselves in interstellar space? And the general consensus was yes, and that was good because everyone referenced the Big Bang, where there's an abundance of different chemical compounds, different elements, and that's where they had originated and they were displaced in the universe. So question 3 was, what are the requirements for life? List the most important factors, and the consensus was generally nutrition, water, air, and a source of energy, all of which are phenomenal answers. So we do need a universal solvent. It doesn't necessarily have to be water, depending on environmental conditions. It could be a range of different temperatures as well for this universal solvent. And another one is source of energy in order to drive chemical reactions. And the third is chemistry, so a combination of elements combine to make proteins and to make nucleic acids. Or that was, under what environmental conditions can life exist? The consensus was organisms can withstand extreme environments, and everyone was correct on that one, spot on. There are extremophiles that exist on this planet, and who's to say that they don't exist on other planets as well, based on their environmental conditions. There are extremophiles that can withstand extremely cold temperatures, extremely hot temperatures, and some that can remain dormant for several years on. For question 5, if aliens were to exist, what do you think they would look like? The general consensus was that there is a possibility of them looking similar, but most likely they would look different. And this is due to the fact that they probably developed under different environmental conditions, which is a correct hypothesis because we humans and organisms on Earth most likely have different evolutionary processes from organisms that would exist in space due to their environmental conditions, and they could pretty much take on any appearance as long as they are surviving and able to withstand their environment, simple or complex. And so that's my project. Thanks for watching.